I didn't mean to hear the conversation. I wasn't spying. I wasn't suspicious. I was just standing outside my car, holding a bouquet I couldn't really afford, when I heard my girlfriend laughing on the phone. And then she said something that froze my blood. "Relax, he doesn't know yet. He thinks I'm doing this for us." That sentence changed how I saw love forever. This is Whispers of the Veil. If you've ever loved someone so deeply you ignored your own pain, this story is for you. Now let me tell you how I became the fool who paid for a dream that was never meant to include me. Her name was Maria. We met when she was working late shifts at a small salon downtown. She had tired eyes, big dreams, and a laugh that made you forget your problems for a moment. She told me she wanted more from life. Fashion school, her own brand, a life bigger than survival. And I believed in her. I worked overtime, skipped nights out, delayed my own plans. Every time she said, "Baby, just a little more help," I found a way. Rent, tuition deposits, Uber rides, even groceries when things got tight. I told myself this was what love looked like. Sacrificing for your partner's happiness. It felt noble, like I was building our future brick by brick with my own sweat. I thought we were a team. I was wrong. I was just the funding. People warned me. My friends would say, "Slow down, man." My family would hint, "You're doing too much for her." Even my own gut sometimes whispered, "She's moving ahead while you're standing still." But then Maria would look at me with those hopeful eyes and say, "You're the only one who believes in me." And I felt chosen. I felt like her hero. We would spend nights talking about the future, about the apartment we'd get once she graduated, about how all this sacrifice would be worth it when she was a successful designer. I didn't notice the small changes at first. How her phone started turning face down on the table. How her smiles came with a little more distance. How her gratitude slowly, almost silently, turned into expectation. Love made me blind to the red flags that were popping up everywhere. That night, everything shifted. I was supposed to pick her up after her late class at the Fashion Institute. Traffic was brutal, so I ended up being about 15 minutes late. I parked across the street and got out, flowers in hand, ready to text her I was there. And that's when I heard her voice. She was standing by the gate, under a streetlight, talking freely, thinking she was completely alone. "He's nice, yeah," she laughed into her phone. "A little too nice sometimes, you know." There was a pause. "I just need him to keep helping until I'm done with this semester. After that, we'll see." My chest tightened. It felt like a punch to the gut. Then she said the words I will never, ever forget. "He thinks he's my future, but he's really just my support system." I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I just stood there in the dark, holding flowers meant for a woman who had already replaced me in her mind. I drove home in complete silence. No music, no radio, not even anger yet. Just a profound, hollow disbelief. I replayed every sacrifice, every late night I worked, every promise she made. Every single time I ignored my gut feeling that something was off. And in that silence, I realized something painful. She didn't really trick me. I volunteered. I wanted to be the hero so badly that I ignored all the signs that I was just being used. My first instinct was to drive back, to confront her immediately, but something inside me, a cold, quiet voice said, "Wait. Just wait. Watch who she becomes when she thinks you're still blind." For the next 2 weeks, I changed nothing on the outside. I stayed kind. I remained supportive. I was present. I played the part of the devoted boyfriend she thought I was. And that's when the truth became impossible to ignore. Her mask slipped completely because she felt safe. She stopped asking how I was or how my day went. Our conversations were only about what I could do for her. She talked more and more about my future and less about our future. Then one night, as we were watching TV, she casually said, "You know, if things ever change between us, you'd still help me finish school, right? You believe in my dream." That's when I knew. That question confirmed everything. Love doesn't ask you to disappear quietly from the picture, but keep sending money. A few days later, I confronted her. I did it calmly. I sat her down and I told her exactly what I heard that night outside her school. Her face didn't show guilt at first. It showed pure fear, the fear of being caught. Then it quickly morphed into irritation. Then the excuses started pouring out. "You misunderstood what I was saying. I was just joking around with my friend. You're being way too dramatic about this." When none of that worked, when she saw I wasn't buying it, she said the truth without even realizing it. She shouted, "Why are you acting like you didn't benefit from loving me? That single sentence hurt more than the initial betrayal, because in that moment, I saw her clearly for the first time. I wasn't her partner. I was her ladder, and she was mad I was thinking of taking it away. I stopped paying for everything that night. There was no yelling, no insults, no big dramatic scene. I just set a boundary. I said, I will no longer be funding your education or your lifestyle. She cried. She begged. She then accused me of ruining her life and crushing her dreams. But for the first time in our entire relationship, I chose myself. I chose my own well-being. I walked away, and as I closed the door on that chapter of my life, something completely unexpected happened. I didn't feel broken. I felt lighter. I felt free. Here's the truth I learned. True hearts. Love should grow two people. It should not drain one to sustain the other. Support is a beautiful thing. Sacrifice can be noble. But when your love turns you into a resource instead of a partner, it's time to leave. Some people don't love you for who you are. They love you for what you provide. And walking away from that is not failure. It's freedom. It's choosing to invest in yourself again. Until the next story, protect your heart and never, ever confuse love with obligation.